What's up, guys? We got another one here, and this one kind of blew me away. This video is called I Need a Stepfather to Help Me Raise My Son. You can't make this shit up. Let's check it out.
Long story short, I am a single mom, and my son's father has not been in the picture since my son was very young. He's been gone for so long that it's like I made my son by myself. Today we were sitting in the car, and somehow we got on the conversation of like marriage and dad, because I like watching like romantic videos and movies, and my son was just like, I wonder when that's gonna happen for us. Like talking about family. And I always tell him like we're our own family, but I understand what he's saying because I do want that for us too. I want us to have that male figure in our life that is like an amazing role model for him, an amazing partner for me.
Let me just say this real quick, guys. One thing that caught my attention right off the bat when she was talking was that she said she's always watching these movies, these love stories on TV. Okay, these false narratives, these fake scenarios that happen in Hollywood, because that, guys, it's not true. Women, if you're a woman watching this, 9 times out of 10, those things do not happen. That is not how it's done in the real world. Let me just say that first off. And what's happened to a lot of women is they get these thoughts, they watch all these things, and they get these images in their head of what a relationship's supposed to look like. And even if a man is loving them and showing them attention, it's not the same. They're not mirroring what they've seen on a lot of these movies. And so to them, it's not right. It's off. And so they kick a lot of these guys to the curb behind that. And they don't even realize that that stuff is engraved in their head. They don't even understand it. I just had to say that real quick. So let's continue.
And then he said, I can't wait to call someone dad again. I didn't immediately lose it, but that really hit my heart.
I guess the thing that I'm trying to figure out is two things, maybe three, maybe four. The first thing that I have to ask myself is why, right? Because every time that I see a woman have this conversation openly and they want to, for example, talk about what they don't have or what they're doing, the fact that they're raising a child by themselves, is the first thing that I have to ask myself is, well, where is the father? And why don't he participate in the child's life?
There's always a reason. And the women will have you believe that, oh, he's just a deadbeat. He just this, he just that. They're not going to tell you what they did. They're not, guys. They never do. When they're painting their picture, that's not how they want you to see it. And I always feel this way. What happened? Why is he not here? You only have her side to go off of. What really happened? I guarantee you she had something to do with it.
And is it something that you guys fell out as a result of? Did he go to jail? Did he die? Is he non-existent? Did he go get another family? Did y'all get into a big argument? Did you weaponize the child against him? Did he just decide to run out? Did you have a child with future? It's always that, because I'm a huge advocate for the woman going back to their baby father, right? No man can ever raise another man's child the way that the man that had the child raised the child. And of course, you're always going to have a bunch of people inside of the comments on some, oh, but my stepfather or whatever. Listen, that day is over. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Guys is woke. They are no longer going to subject themselves to being player number 2 or playing another man's save game or being a step crash dummy, because there is no real reward for raising another man's child. It's difficult enough, right? It's difficult enough raising your own child. It's
Facts.
harder than ever. As a person that has played a huge role in my daughter's life, because I've been married the entire time, I will tell you that, it is very, very, very hard to raise a child today. And when I say it's hard, I'm talking about the balance between time, and pursuing your purpose with trying to balance a relationship while at the same time growing and your business is exploding. And so you have to choose between the two sometimes, or maybe you lose sleep. Whatever it is, it's very difficult. And then you're asking another man to come in and put that level of dedication into this child, which I'm not really sure. And let me also preface this by saying, having a romantic movie time with your son is crazy to me because basically this is one of the reasons why men grow up to be feminists. This is one of the reasons why men grow up to have this liberal mindset, in my opinion. And I'm not putting anything on her. I'm just speaking to the circumstance that she framed and posed to the general public. This is, in my opinion, one of the problems with what we see happening in society today. Now, again, we don't know why, so we're just left to just go based off of the information that she's providing. But I guess my big point is, why have children with a man that you ultimately weren't going to stick around with, which basically comes with the fact that we having sex before marriage and having children before marriage, which leans more to liberal views instead of being more conservative.
Or you just get with somebody and you tell yourself, oh, well. You have that oh, well mentality. You have the mentality that I can find another man and I look like this and I can get somebody else to do this. But like he said earlier in the video, people are waking up, men are waking up, and they're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. They're starting to realize that you're not going to use me. You're not going to play with my emotions. You're not going to have me try to be or act as if I'm his father to a certain degree. And then when I get to the line, oh, you can't do that. No, I'm going to do that. You don't hit him like that, or you don't talk to him that way. Guys, I've been there, done that. When I was younger, I've experienced that before, and it's all good until it's time to do certain things. Oh, you can take them to the barbershop. You can do fatherly things with them and this and this and that and treat them. I'm a package deal. Only until it's not. And when I first witnessed that and saw that, I was a silent killer. I said, okay, that's how you want to roll? All right. I didn't dip. I didn't storm out. I just kept my mouth closed. And as soon as I got my opportunity to get up out of there, I hit it one more time and I dipped. Phone calls stopped. I just dried up. I just shut down. I said, I'm done. Okay. You ain't got to tell me twice. I already see what the game looked like. And so men are taking that mentality now and they're using it. They're using it in today's time, and they're not playing games anymore, guys. They're not. And if women are tired of being single mothers and they want a man to come into their life and help them with their children, they need to choose wisely, choose better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there aren't certain circumstances, guys, that there are some women who go through certain things that can't be controlled. Of course, I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not being a dickhead when it comes to that. I understand that there are certain circumstances where they have no control over that, and that's just is what it is. I'm not talking about those women, though. I'm talking about the majority, though, of women. I'm still talking about 70% of most of these women out here, guys, that are moving like this. And now they want to get upset when things don't go their way.
And now she's breaking down saying that I want a man to fill that role in my life. I want a man to fill that role in my son's life. What? Like, okay. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's incredibly disrespectful for a man to have to, or for even, you want to put a man in a position to where he have to play step crash dummy to somebody else's child. I wouldn't even want to be around a woman that feels as though that's a reasonable ask, because it's not. It absolutely is not. And I don't advise anybody to do it on either side. If a woman decides, even though I think it's a little bit different, because, there are double standards in society and in relationships. If a woman says, no, I wouldn't want that, or I wouldn't want to date a man that's a single father, I wouldn't trip on him. I wouldn't even think that it was necessarily a bad thing. You know why? Because that is a reasonable ask for a woman that do not have children. And so I don't know why, because again, and I know what it is. I know that we come from an era and a generation where men felt like they had to go and do this, or they was okay with dating single mothers and stuff. But we aware now. We woke now. Let me continue to hear what they got to say out here in these streets, bro.
But that really hit my heart.
I am still trying to wrap my head around the fact that I have to build relationships at this grown age of 31 years old, platonic and romantic. And I cannot I'm literally talking to Jesus right now. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to navigate through this. This is not something I saw for myself, and I didn't have to expect to be doing this at this grown ass age, okay? I didn't expect to be doing this in my 30s. And I fear it's kind of like really hitting me. And I'm like, no, actually, how are we supposed to create friendships, create community? I can't even fathom dating for real, but being extroverted and also knowing that we're not, made to be isolated and that we're built for connection and we all need companionship. I'm like, how is this going to play out for real? Because at some point, I'm like, God, we're going to have friends, right? Like at some point, I'm sure I'm going to have a man again.
Well, the only thing I can say that is you better get your affairs in order, because it's cold out there, man. I'm telling you, it's a wrap. I mean, most of these women are cooked, and that's the sad reality, that they didn't even realize that they were cooked the minute that relationship ended. They didn't realize it. It's harder and harder to date out here now, guys. You got so much red tape to go through and deal with. And it's hard to reprogram the brain of a lot of these women because they've seen too much trash. They've witnessed too many things that make no sense at all. And so it's going to be hard to rewire a lot of these women the way they think. It is. Because the answer usually is staring them in their face, but they're not going to acknowledge that. They're just not. And that is it's a dog chasing their tail. They're going to continue to do it until they wake up one day at 55 years old and nobody to turn to. And that's just what it is. You have to know yourself. You have to identify the red flags within you, and you have to acknowledge that and fix that before you attempt to date or try to meet anybody. Because if you don't, those flags are going to be very easy to see, and men are seeing them now. It's becoming so much easier to spot, and now they can't hide it anymore. And men they're basically bowing out, man. And they're saying, man, I got out of this one. I think I actually got a win, because if I would have stayed here, this would have happened, that would have happened. They're reading the signs now.
Like, I can't imagine just living the rest of my life like truly solo dolo, but at the same time, I can, because
It's funny that women always say, no, just be by yourself for the rest of the life. Like, I see women that make those type of videos. I see women that have that type of sentiment. But in reality, most women want companionship.
I'm used to right now. And some days like this, it definitely makes me really sad, because I do feel like I thrive when I'm by myself, but I also don't like that, even from like a dating perspective, because I do struggle with like to my deepest core, I do struggle with being lonely, and I don't like that feeling. And so when moments like this, like when those deep issues, like when they start to come up to the surface, it's really hard to navigate, and it's really hard to grieve. So I don't know, like, it feels like I'm in a growing pain in life right now, I guess. And I just feel like,
I just think that these women need to go back with their child's father. I'ma always say that. I'ma always stand on it. And I know that in a lot of instances, it just doesn't make sense, maybe. Or some instances, it may not make sense. But if you are a single mother, the best place for you to be is under the covering of the man that you had children with, before he moves on and go into a different relationship. Because it's not always about you, it's about the child. And you maybe even, because it's not like you didn't love him before, because you had to at some point, maybe. Yeah. If you decided to lay down and have a child with them.
Yeah.
But you see women that they'll say that I'd rather be by myself than be with you. But then they get on the internet and they start to talk about how they'd rather be with somebody because they by themselves and they lonely and they don't know what to do, even at 31 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm in the video here, but the gist of it is women who are breaking up their relationships with the fathers of their children, and they're wondering why they can't find another guy. And they're wondering why the guys who they're looking at or wanting to date are looking at them and saying, no, thank you, because you have a child or children. They're not mine. And they're asking themselves, what happened with them? And if you can't keep a relationship with them, what's that say for me? And these kids aren't even mine. And you want to build a family with somebody else? And you want a man to sacrifice all of the things like having his own children and dealing with yours and not getting the time and the things that, you know, a new and fresh relationship would probably need to prosper. He's sacrificing all of that. And so I don't understand why women don't see this and why women don't try to stay with the father of their children. Because like he said, they were with them at some point long enough to let them have a baby and deciding to keep the child on top of that. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm not saying that it's always a woman's fault, but I am saying that they are the majority, if that makes sense, who are the ones deciding the fates of the whole family. I'm talking about divorce, breakups. 70% of women are the ones who are calling it quits. Okay. Because they are tired of something, or they don't understand that relationships are work and that you actually have to work to stay together sometimes. That's what it entails. There's going to be fights, arguments, things are going to be said, and you're going to have to navigate through those waters. And most women, or a lot of them, I should say, don't have the patience or don't have the wherewithal to deal with that. And as a result, guess where they're at now? There are these women here crying about being single with kids and already having one foot in the dating grave because of that. They don't realize how much trouble that they're in. I don't think most women realize that. With single mothers, I don't think they really realize how bad they look to other men who are trying to date. Off rip, men are already looking at them differently because they got kids and they're not theirs. So I'm not going to, harp on it. I'm going to get out of here. If you like the content, guys, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. I drop content all the time on this channel. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video.